Hello there, and welcome to this edition of Thought for the Week. It's always great to be with you, and it's good to be with you now. We've been thinking about the New Testament church and been challenged, I think, to some extent to see that there are differences between what we experience as church and what the New Testament describes as church. And if we're faced with that contrast, then obviously decisions have to be made. Are we going to go with the status quo, or are we going to try to return to the principles of church that we see laid down in, for example, the Acts of the Apostles? We've been looking at Acts and looking at that early church and noticing what they did and what they didn't do. And it's quite illuminating. And today I'd like to take you into Acts chapter 9, and we're talking about Saul of Tarsus. Saul, you'll remember, had been going to Damascus to take prisoner any Christians he could find there. And on the way he was confronted by Jesus. And he fell to the ground, absolutely petrified. And Jesus spoke to him, and Jesus sent him into Damascus, where he was ministered to by a disciple named Ananias. And this guy was a remarkable guy, because he knew all about Saul of Tarsus and knew that Saul had come to Damascus to take prisoner people just like himself. Talk about a pressured situation. And as he was praying, the Lord spoke to him and told Ananias to go and minister to, yes, Saul of Tarsus. An incredible mission. But he went, and the change that came over Saul of Tarsus was incredible. He was born again. He was baptized in the Holy Spirit, and he was launched on his ministry. And instantly he was changed. From being the arch persecutor of Jesus and his people, he suddenly began to preach that Jesus is the Son of God. And he did it in the local synagogues of all places. What an amazing transformation, but what an appalling risk he ran. And we certainly discover that the response of the Jewish people living in Damascus was nothing if not hostile. Just listen to this. After many days had gone by, the Jews conspired to kill him. But Saul learned of their plan. Day and night they kept close watch on the city gates in order to kill him. But his followers took him by night and lowered him in a basket through an opening in the wall. Talk about an adventure, goodness me. When he came to Jerusalem, he tried to join the disciples. But they were all afraid of him, not believing that he really was a disciple. But Barnabas took him and brought him to the apostles. Now that's an amazing thing. Here's this guy, terrible reputation, terrible behavior pattern. You can understand why those Christians in Jerusalem were terrified of him. But another guy appears, and his name is Barnabas, and he recognized that Paul had been called by the Lord and that it was very important that Paul be reconciled to those Christian leaders in Jerusalem. And Barnabas was prepared to take Paul and bring him to the brothers, standing with him. It was an appalling time. It was a time to stand together. But they did, and incredible things happened in consequence of it. You and I need to stand together in the good times, but also very much in the bad. Only then are we going to demonstrate what it is to be the people of God in these difficult days. Well, the Lord bless you. Talk to you next time, I hope. Bye-bye.